We're back. We're back. We're back. We are back, guys. As you walk in, please make sure y'all hit that like button. Please make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. And please make sure y'all hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember, we do go live each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern Time. Like always, thank you for tuning in to Cal Culture Radio. Akeem, Jordan. Oh, I see we have a special guest. Jordan, I think you will introduce this special guest. So, guys, what's going on? What's cracking like it?
Chilling, chilling, man. Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's get it. But yeah, man, we have a special guest for you guys. Special guest. He's from California. He's a motivational speaker and also a writer. He also has a podcast called Real Recognize Real Podcast. So let me introduce to you for David Spivey Jr., man. How you feeling, man? How are
What's
you
going
feeling?
on, man? What's going on, fellas? I appreciate the invite, man. It's an honor for me.
Hey
Yes.
man, it's a blessing to have you here, brother.
Yeah, welcome, welcome.
Yeah, so man, yeah, the reason we brought in David here because, like I said, we want to interview him because he is a man who turned his life around, man, and he not just and he's here to not just here, but to tell everybody there's second chances that into life that you can do. He was a former gang member. Now he changed his life around. He's been in prison, but now he's out here. He's doing the work, and trying to make other lives, especially kids' lives, better, and people who's trying to change, from doing good and to do bad and to good, and really want to give and say, hey man, there's things you can do out here other than game violence or being in the game or doing bad things. So man, appreciate you, man. So David, man, tell us about yourself, man. Tell us a little about yourself, brother.
So, man, yeah, my name's David Spivey Jr. A lot of people call me DJ, aka Mr. Triple R, host of the Real Recognize Real podcast. Uh, yeah, so like a lot of kids is knuckleheads. I was a young teenager, thinking my mom didn't know what she was talking about. You know what I mean? Figuring that the only way for me to go through life is to figure it out on my own, and which led me to starting to reach out to gang members for advice and for help on things, which led me to become a gang member. So at the age of 17, I was arrested for a murder, first degree murder, attempted murder, conspiracy to commit murder was later add charged on me before I went to trial, and a shooting in the habit of dwelling, and got found guilty of everything except for the attempted murder. Ended up receiving 100 years to life.
Whoa.
Got 35 stayed, so it was 65 to life. Then I got what is it? The 15 to life reversed, and they just gave me 8 years for the shooting. So I had 58 years to life. And I'll never forget, man. I was in Pelican Bay watching the Oscars, and this is like right around the time that movie Selma came out, and Common was on the stage singing "Freedom." Him and John Legend. And I'll never forget, in the middle of the performance, Common was like, "Let's end mass incarceration." And he said a couple other things, and I remember hitting my cellie's bunk. This was one of my childhood friends from the streets, and I was like, "Hey, bro, you better get your shit together because we going home." He said, "Why you say that?" I said, "Bro, this is one of the biggest platforms in the country, and you got this dude talking about end mass incarceration, man. One thing I learned is when a celebrity or celebrities get behind something, it usually is accomplished." So first thing I did was just get my spiritual connection right and correct. Got baptized, started reading the Bible a lot more, going to services, speaking at them, and then but I wasn't 100 yet because I was still deep into politics with the gang stuff like that. But got my points dropped, ended up going to a level 3 Ironwood State Prison, and that's when I got into college, and I started learning these vocational trades. And I was still, it was still hard to shake, which is why I don't condemn gang members, because I understand that the grips that these warped beliefs have on people is amazingly tight. So started just keep programming, going to groups, just staying out of trouble, staying to myself mostly. Then I made the decision. I said, you know what, y'all, I gotta just do this for me. I can't keep risking my freedom for the collective. And some dudes understood, some dudes didn't. I understood. Uh, then Governor Brown started commuting sentences. So I said, you know what, let me take a shot in the dark. I put in for application. Me and this one dude put in for it at the same time. I got the application back. He never got it, and I went through the process, and the governor commuted my sentence from 58 to life to 15 to life. Went to board the first time. They denied me 3 years. They said they felt my gang ties were still a little too strong. But since I was an exceptional case, I only did 18 months of the denial, and the board up on their own called me back, which I got found suitable for. And 120 days later, which was April 21st, 2021, I was released back to society.
Wow.
Go ahead, Hakeem.
No. I was
Okay.
just I don't have no questions yet. I didn't know if he was done.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. This listen to him. I was like, oh wow, man. That's a lot. But just to see the change, the life around it's just like, wow, man.
That's an incredible story, man. What was your family reaction when they know you was coming home?
It's just like everybody was like, including myself, man. Like it was kind of like in awe, like unbelievable. Like in the back of my head, I was like, something gonna happen, and I'm not gonna get out of jail just because I just felt like that's where my luck was at. And I don't even believe in luck, but that's just how the cards had constantly been dealt to me. Like right when I think something good is about to happen, boom. Like because even before I went to jail for murder, I was just like about to go to the Navy. You know what I mean? Like they were just waiting for me to turn 18. And so it was like I felt that was the only way for me to get out the game. You know what I mean? It was like I need to go and become something and be productive. I need to get out of the neighborhood. And I'm like, what's the best way? Is the Navy gonna have you all around the world. So I was like, I'm gonna join the Navy. And just so happened right before that, one of my best friends got killed. And I was just consumed with so much hate and revenge and retaliation in my heart, man. Like that the Navy just became not even a second option. It just became a no option. You know what I mean? So when they told me I was getting ready to come home, it was just like I just like had like really bad anxiety. Like my heart was always racing. And my family just was like, "Are you sure? Like, what they say? When you get down?" I'm like, "I don't know yet." You like, "Oh, man, you better make sure." And it was just like, but when I called them and said, "Hey, I'll be home Wednesday," they just were like, just overfilled with joy, man. Like all of us was. We just was just like, this part of the journey, bro, is finally over.
How was the transitioning? How was the transition coming back home and being reacclimated to life and stuff like that?
I mean, I'm still reacclimating myself to society. It's not an easy task, but I will say for anybody out there who feels like they can't do it, yes, you can. It's not that hard either. You know what I mean? It's like it's as easy as you want it to be and as hard as you would love it to be. And what I did when I was incarcerated, I try to keep my mind as free as I possibly could. So because I just always believe, okay, man, one day I gotta be able to go home. I don't know how, but I know I'm gonna go home. So I just kind of kept trying to keep my mind free to the point where I didn't want to be just so, institutionalized. And so like when I got out here, I had to really understand time management. That was one of the biggest things to me because, I could be in the cell on a cell phone up all night and then go to my assignment. But you can't do that in the real world, man, because you really like your job really means something to you. In prison, it's like I'm just here so I don't get a write up. And so I had to learn how to stop taking phone calls after 8 o'clock because I was working graveyard. I had to like relearn the city, learn the bus routes, learn the areas, see what you know what I mean. And like I had to learn how to be in these big crowds that were moving really fast. I had to learn that the quickest because I had parole to Hollywood, so it's just like nonstop traffic.
What about the homies? What was they thought about coming home?
Yeah.
So, they thought it was like, because all they could remember me is for the old me,
Mm.
So it was like, oh, my boy, oh man, they thinking like the monster is on his way home, and I had to tell myself when I was in prison, like, yo, when you come home, everybody gonna act like they was excited, like they missed you, and a part of that is true. They did miss you. They are excited you home, but it's like it's false. It's excitement for the dude that they think is coming home. You know what I mean? So I just told dudes right off the dribble, like, look, bro, love y'all. I got it tatted in the skin, man. But I'm just doing me, bro. I just told my homeboys, I said the same thing that got me out of prison is the same thing I'm gonna be on while I'm out here, and few dudes still wanted to pull up on me. So I was like, you know what? I gotta get crafty. And so I said, look, you can pull up on me, but at the gym, ain't nobody gonna want to work out. So I had only one dude pull up on me, and me and him are really close to this day. He tell me all the time, I helped him transition away from the lifestyle.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about that. Like, do some of your homies still respect you of turning your life into a different direction? What you're doing right now?
Without a question, man. I just had a friend of mine pass away that was from my neighborhood, and I went to the candlelight vigil just to pay my respects. And dudes see me, they would embrace me, hugs. Hey man, keep doing what you're doing, man. You inspire. I just got it. One of my homeboys just DM me the other day on Instagram, was just like, man, you're motivating people, whether they tell you or not. People is watching you, and you motivating us, bro. Keep grinding, keep doing what you're doing, man. Like, I never punked the game. I never snitched on nobody. I never got rolled up. Nothing bad ever happened to me in jail that I didn't retaliate over. It was just like solid across the board. And so dudes just respect that. People know, because they know who I was, and they just loving who I am. You're gonna always have some naysayers, but I remember listening to Ice-T when I was in prison. He said, people always hate up, they never hate down. So I respect the hate.
Mm.
I'm just trying to be careful on some of the questions. So I don't know how personal do you want to get. It's up to you.
I get very personal. The only thing I don't do is expose the name of the victim, just out of respect for the family.
Okay. Is your record clean?
As far as what?
Because you out now. Did they clean your record? So now like you no longer a convicted felon?
No, I'm working on that now to do the expungement. But like if you do a background check on me, it comes back clean.
No, but first of all, congratulations. I think I didn't even know all this about you. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be totally honest. I've been trying Hakeem and Jordan for a very long time. I've been trying to get somebody from prison to come on here to talk about their story, and for you to be the first, I really do greatly appreciate it. You don't understand how hard it is for me. I was just trying to find somebody, but Jordan did. Kudos to him for that. I think it's very important. I love your story because I think guys need to know what really goes behind bars. You get my drift? Because a lot of people,
Right.
I'm a thug out here in these streets. I'm gonna run the streets, but they don't know the true story. What really do go behind bars? Yeah, we see documentary, but you actually experienced it. That's why I was trying my hardest to find somebody. But look how life works. You finally got someone on the panel, so I do greatly appreciate you for that. Okay, being a motivating speaker, what made you decide to go that route? Because a lot of people end up becoming a motivational speaker just because of the aspect of money. They're not really trying to help the community. So, and your idea, what made you become a motivational speaker?
So number one, I always say, I learned this a long time ago that like if you could find something that you would be willing to do for free, then the money would most definitely come. You know what I mean? So I it's part of my living amends to inspire and motivate the world. You know what I mean? Because I took a person's life. I stopped that, and I always say this. Look at me, change. I've been to college. I have a career. I have a clothing line. It's so many things I have going for myself that when I was deeply involved in gangs, nobody would ever believe would have happened. You know what I mean? I'm a mental health worker, and so it's like, whoa, this dude, this convicted murderer, this this ex felon, this dude that he can do, and it's like I want people to know, like, listen, you don't have to die in the mistakes that you make. You know what I mean? And I do this in honor of my victim to make their life mean something other than statistic. You know what I'm saying? Ignorant statistic. Oh, another gang violence, black on black crime. Like, no, now this person, I look at it like this person sacrificed their life so that I can learn and become better and help others that are in those situations to stop them from killing people, to stop them from breaking up a bloodline, theirs and someone else's. You know, because when you, I always tell people, when you kill somebody and go to jail, right? You killed their bloodline. When you get a life sentence, you've killed your own bloodline. And in those bloodlines are millions and millions of people. And so it's like, you're not just responsible for one death, you're responsible for millions. And so now it's like, let me use that, let me inspire millions.
No, that was very beautiful. I wanna ask you this. What do you think, what misconceptions that you think people have about just like gang life and what you've been through that you had to correct people? Because I know there's a lot of people who might ask you certain things or who might portray this particular lifestyle a certain kind of way, but you tell them it's not. What misconception you had to really correct people about this?
So it's a few, and they're major. And one is most people think like if you join a gang, you're a part of a gang that you like are just super innately evil. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you know, people start treating you different. They looking at you different. It's like, you didn't treat me like that until you found that out. Now it's, oh, I don't want, you know. I remember I went to this networking event called the Snake Pit in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And remember I was talking to this black guy, grew up in a predominantly white community. He's adopted by a white family. So his insight on what black is much different than ours. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, when he found out, you know, my story, he was like, you know, he was surprised of how well I was, you know, how well spoken I was and how educated I was. And he was like, man, you don't sound like, you know, a criminal. So I asked him, I said, what does a criminal sound like? You know, because we got billionaires that go to feds. They're criminals.
Yep. Facts.
You know what I mean? And so it's like people look at gang members and they think just, oh, you had to be, you know, ignorant. You had to be on the spectrum. You had to have some type of dysfunction to join a gang. And which is true. The dysfunction is these warped beliefs that most inner city kids develop over the course of their lifetime. Because see, most people before they join a gang, they already have these warped belief systems that drive them to a gang. Because when you live in the inner city and you see the dude going to work struggling, but the dude's on the block, they bust down. They got all the cars. They got all the clothes that you wish you had and the cars you wish you could drive. The girl, your mind is art, man. He getting it, you know. And so it's like people are not going to gangs because they're dumb or uninformed. I would say uninformed of what the lifestyle really is. And so I'm just always having to correct people about that. Like, no, you know, I know some gang members that I'm talking about would run circles academically around people who've been on the streets in society their whole lives. There's some real scholars behind the wall.
Before we got on the show, remember we was having a conversation about there's some gang members who you know they have, you know, self-esteem problems, you know, into the gang. Can you explain a little bit what you was talking about earlier before we got on the show?
Yeah, sure. That's one of the biggest things, and that's what I really want people to understand. Like, I'm actually working on a book. Once I'm finished with it, I'd love to come on here and talk about it with you guys. Mm-hmm. You know, just the psychology of a gang member. Because most people think like, you know, most people don't understand, and that's what I'm working hard to educate for people to become empathetic towards gang members. not sympathetic, but empathetic. You know what I mean? Like understand what this person was going to do because, and not to shake things up or anything like that or offend any of your viewers, but when you see mass shootings with Caucasian people, the first thing they do is let's see if it's some mental defects with them, right? They always want to do a mental check on them. But blacks and browns are not afforded that because people have this false image that we're just innately violent and aggressive. When that's not the case, most people that grow up in the inner cities, those are survival traits. The reason people are so quick to fight is because that's the only way they've been able to protect themselves. Or that's the only way that people think that you can get a point across. And, like I tell young men today, you're not a punk if you don't want to fight. You're not soft. I tell people all the time, if you don't want to fight and you choose not to fight, you are actually the most hardest person in this conflict because you knowing yourself and you following through and staying true to yourself, despite people saying, oh man, you going out like a buster, homie. Oh, that's soft, bro. No, it's not. That's not something I want to do. And most people do it because of the low self-esteem. You know what I mean? Anytime you're willing to sacrifice your entire life, your being, for people to like you, that's an extreme case of low self-esteem. It's very severe. And that's what most gang members suffer from. And you ask most gang members, no, I think I'm the shit. Yeah, that's a mask that you're wearing. Yeah, that's your facade. But deep down, you don't feel good about yourself because if you did, you would do you instead of doing them.
I want to ask an important question that I think you're probably the only person can ask this. What was the conversation like with a lot of guys that was coming in after you had already been there so much? And I want you to touch on this too, because you know what I mean, because we do have a lot of young viewers. Before you get into this, somebody ask a question for you. It says, please ask David, does he believe that he met other people in prison who he believes can never be let out regardless of what their sentence was?
Hell yeah. I met some boogeymen. I know some dudes that I'm like, yo, this person don't never need to be let out. Like, because all they're going to do is hurt somebody. Like, it's dudes in there right now, Brand, that change the last thing on their mind. Like, even if a new law passed that would set them free, they'd be right back on their way to prison, man. So I most definitely know some people like that.
That's very honest.
And it's just like, it's some people who got out that I was kind of like, whoa, they let him out?
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you this, and this is important for the young viewers who want to ask this. What was your reaction since you had already been there for a little minute? Because you kind of like grew up in jail, right?
Right.
What was your reaction when you seen the influx of young guys coming in and they didn't have a date to come home? What was their reaction?
A lot of dudes, and see, this goes back to the low self-esteem, right? A lot of dudes in jail hold other people's opinions, and, the sentiment amongst like older lifers is when you get a life sentence, you should be bitter, angry. You should want to tear the yard up. You know what I mean? So a lot of young dudes, they come in and, they so eager to prove themselves and mark their body up with tattoos. And I always try to snatch up a youngster or two if I can. You know what I'm saying? And I know how to catch them. Y'all, you got to always catch them. But one thing when it comes to the youngsters, and I now as a mature person, you know what I'm saying? That's my little fly way of saying older dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We try to stay as young as we possibly can for as long as we can. And so, I always try to catch them by themselves because I understand that now. Like, I respect the fact that people don't want you to put them on blast in front of their friends, in front of, their peers. They want to be by themselves. So that's the only way you can get the true identity of a person is just pulling up on them by themselves. You know what I mean? Because that's just like if I walk up on all three of y'all at the same time, I'm like, do you want Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? Like, you what the hell? But if I catch you by yourself and I do a little bit more tactful, I may be able to get a couple of minutes of your time. I might not be able to get you to change right then and there, but I gave you some seeds to later on grow and replenish your body with.
Definitely.
So I just was like, it just confirmed to me what I knew. The youth are just misled in this country. You know what I mean?
Was some of them? Did you met any of them who mentally couldn't handle that there was no date coming home?
I met some dudes. Yeah, the gangster the gangster was broken out of them with all that time. A lot of dudes started becoming drug heads, and with the drugs, it really makes them even weaker. And so now it's like dudes that that would fight at the drop of a hat, they getting slapped, they getting punked. People ain't taking them serious. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when I first went to prison, this dude got 123 years of life. He hung himself.
Wow.
Whoa.
Couldn't handle it. Wow.
He hung himself. As many dudes that kill themselves, dudes become, mentally unstable. And it's just like to overcome incarceration, man, you have to have a great deal of mental strength. Because I remember watching the news and people going crazy because they were quarantined during COVID. And I'm like, we've been quarantined for over a decade now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just you gotta have that mental prowess to tell yourself this too shall pass. Like that's something you have to make your decision every day that you're gonna go home. Because at any given moment, man, you could just say F it and throw it all away.
Okay. I have one question. Go ahead, Ronnie.
No, I just want to ask him a question. If you could put a number, how many people you think in jail didn't have fathers in their lives? If you could put a number, the men.
I would say
issue. No, I won't say that's the issue. Okay, your facial expression says it all. Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if there's maybe somebody that you knew personally, maybe a friend or somebody in the hoodie that you had changed that person's life around in a 180. That you have maybe have a story or something like that.
Man, I got many people like that, bro. Once I began to change, man, I just dedicated my life to it. You know what I mean? Like anybody, it got to the point, man, when I was in prison, I was doing some very unheard of things on the GP yard. You know what I mean? Like I got Southsiders, which are, the SAs. I'm calling dudes by their real name on the yard. This dude is the shot caller, and I'm calling him by his real name. You know what I mean? It might be his last name, it might be whatever it is, but I created that cult. Dudes just thought, hey, what? And it's like, damn, dudes ain't saying that's Creeper or that's Killer D. They dudes are like, oh, hey, Brian, hey, check it out. Hey, what's going on, Matthews? Hey, what? You know what I mean? Like, oh, I got OG Crips and Bloods. Respectfully calling each other by their first names and things of that nature, man. So it's just like it was such a blessing, bro. So I got a buddy right now. He's still currently incarcerated. Darnell White, man, free Darnell White. You know what I'm saying, to his backwards. And this dude's a blood. He's a former blood. And like just the continuous counseling with him and mentoring him, man, this dude was able to break free of his gang ties, his criminality. He was able to shut that down, become very pro-social. Like he's getting ready for board and stuff now, like and the dude just, when I talk to him, it's just such a blessing.
Is it true a lot of people join religion to get out of prison early, or that's a false statement?
Yeah, that's a false statement because you can't become a Christian or a Muslim and they just cut your sentence. You know what I mean? But a lot of people, um, I always say this, right? If you ever read the Bible
Mm.
or any spiritual book, it's about freedom. That's what it's all about. It's about freedom. And like you read the Bible, it makes so much sense that many dudes would turn to the Bible while incarcerated because an incarcerated man wrote 3/4 of the New Testament. You know what I mean? And in the Old Testament, so many people were in bondage.
Facts.
Bondage is bondage. No matter if it's self-inflicted or somebody else captured you and put you in bondage. Bondage is bondage. So who better to relate to people in bondage, someone who was incarcerated, than prisoners? The Bible speaks about second chances. The Quran speaks about God's mercy and grace. Who would want that more than somebody who is incarcerated, somebody who now is understanding like, yo, I screwed up my life and I've screwed up a lot of other people's lives. And like, so when everybody turns to religion, you should be happy that people are turning to something productive rather than counterproductive, because we can all be turning to drugs. We can all be turning to deeper gang involvement. So that's false.
You preaching.
You preaching. I have a two-part question. Do you ever think that you suffer from PTSD since your whole life? And have you ever, since you've been out, have you been to therapy?
I most definitely have PTSD. No, I have yet to go to a therapist because I went to school for I went to college for counseling and things like that, and psychology and sociology. So I have a lot of coping skills to help me with that. To the point where it's like it's not overtaking my life. I'm still able to fully function. It just, I understand for me, I have to be more on top of me than most people have to be on top of themselves.
Okay. Oh, Chad, I just want to let you guys know if you got questions for him, go ahead. Go ahead. If you got any questions, go ahead as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to, Dave, I want to talk about your book, Dreams in Incarceration. What made you want to, write this book?
So I didn't write the book. Killian Dunn wrote the book.
Okay.
That came about. So I was doing private security. I did an event for them. They had a New Year's Eve event, and I was just like, yo, the way you bring the year in is the way your year goes. So I'd rather bring mine in getting money than getting drunk. You know what I mean? And so I met his partner. That they got a movie coming out, and what do you call it? Me and his buddy started talking. My boy Connor Holloway, and me and Connor got on. I started talking to him about YouTube, told him my backstory, and so he told Killian, because he writes books. He was like, "Yo, you remember Dave?" He was like, "Yeah." He was like, "You know his story?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Dude," and Killian later on told me like they watched my videos for like an hour, and he said he just like became so like captured by my story. Like he was like, "Man," and I saw him at an event one night. He was like, "Yo, I want to write a book about you." You know what I mean? So the book is based on my life story, my life experiences through an interview that we did. He just kind of like peppered it and things of that nature. But it's a really good book. There's lessons in it, so that's how I got into that. That's how that came about.
Yeah. Hey, I want to say, shout out to Connor, and shout out to Killian, because this is how I got to you, David. It's because these two. I met them at an event. Connor, he was the first person I met. He got me all around, and that's how I met Killian. We talked a little bit, and then that's how your name popped up, David. So yeah, shout out to them.
Dave is a deep brother. I want to ask him because I know you're on social media now, so you're a motivational speaker and also a very influencer now. What do you think about when you hear guys on social media that's capping that, oh, they went to jail, or they have quote unquote jail life experience? Like, do you kind of see that they be capping, or do you kind of see like, oh, I can't kind of correlate to this story? So can you kind of see the both, or like both sides?
Yeah, I definitely see both sides of it. Like for me, I can't be a character. I can just be me. But I do understand dudes that put the character on, put a little extra sauce on the burger. You know what I mean? Because that seems to be the way to capture people's attention on these social media platforms, because you can be dropping the greatest knowledge in the world and average 102 views. You know what I mean? While somebody else is just doing some straight nonsense and they getting tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of views. You're like, yo, like, and you watching, you looking at the account, you're like, bro, this is cap. Like, you know what I mean? And like, I hate the people that are like, they're making, because there's nothing fun about this lifestyle. There's no, like, I tell people all the time, you may have some good moments, but there's nothing fun about this. You know, you may have some moments you could think like, damn, I remember me and the homie, but there is nothing fun about it, because think about this. Every day a gang member gets up prepared to die. That's what you sign, volunteer to die. Every day that you get up out the bed as an active gang member, you are getting up, volunteering to die for an unworthy cause. Unworthy cause. Think about that, fellas.
That's powerful.
Every day they step out the house.
Wow.
They basically are like, hey, somebody smoke me. Somebody kill me now, or I'm going to kill you later.
That's scary. Yeah, that's powerful. It's scary at the same time.
Have you ever seen in your time, have you ever met any notable people that came through the jails?
You talking about like celebrities?
Yeah, celebrities or hood celebrities, either one. Like people, yeah.
Yeah, so I remember it's real funny. So I remember like when I was in Ironwood, most gangs had a table, so an area.
A car.
And so our table, you know what I'm saying? Our table was close to the blood table. And which was really funny, because my section of gangs and allies of that nature, all of us beefed with damn near everybody that was at the blood table. You know what I mean? Yet we were so close. And I remember, so one day, I remember staying out like to the last yard, and I seen this old dude working out by the blood table. And I started to tell him like, hey, OG, you know, that's the blood table. Because I assumed he didn't gangbang, you know? And when later on, I ended up finding out this is the dude, this is one of the original founders of the Pirus.
Oh, wow.
So I like it was so funny to me, like, that I was gonna attempt to tell one of the original founders of the Pirus that it probably wasn't a good idea for, but I'm glad I did, because I was gonna say that, but then my mind was like, you a Crip? Who you give a damn if they somebody at the table? And so I kept it pushing. But me and him became really, really cool. That was my workout partner. But he changed his life. And, you know, it was like, I thought that was notable because, like, and he always used his influence for the best. You know, a lot of time Bloods would come to him and ask for his opinion, and he would steer them in the best path. You know what I mean? So, I'm trying to think what celebrities was I ever in jail with. I've seen like a couple of celebrities. I was never with like walking around with them, so I really wouldn't even call them notable. You know what I mean? For me, what's notable is dudes that were huge waves in this culture that decided to change their lives and not be afraid to talk about it.
Okay, let's go into need ingredients of things. Okay, you consider a gang member, a former gang member. Was it easier for you to get women? Because most men, especially in this space, always talking about the Pookies, the Red Rays, the gangsters. They always get all the women. So is that theory is true or not?
No, it's definitely not hard for me to get women. Not at all. That's the least of my worries. I'm bald headed. It's harder to get hair than it is for me to get a woman.
Hey, Gore, I'm asking the questions. But I think it's true to ask someone a question because remember, people in the internet, they always talk about guys like you. I'm being honest. They always talk about guys like you who coming from jail, who always get all the women. Why is that? Do you have an answer?
I'm gonna keep it real with you, right? when you go to jail, you have nothing but time to think and study. Like, you got to remember, we write letters in jail. It takes a whole lot more brain power to write a letter than it does to have a phone conversation, because you need for this letter to have the intended impact that you want it to have without you being able to be there and speak words. You see what I'm saying? And when you can do that, if you can keep a girl in jail even just for a year, you kind of mastered the game, because to get a woman to be with you and take care, because you got to think about that. This is a one-sided relationship, basically, other than the emotional side. This is a woman just giving. You got to put money on the phone. You got to come visit me. You got to send me some of them sexy pictures. You got to send me to the canteen. I got to have some store. I can't be around here looking stupid. Woo, I got to want. So think about that. Now when brother get out, and it's like, for me, I used to watch TV a lot, right? I would watch Cheaters, Jerry Springer, Maury, right? Those are like my entertainment stuff. And I would watch like TV shows, and I would be like, oh, okay. I just kind of like, for me, it was just like LeBron James watching some film. Okay, I'm going to attack this side like that. I'm going to penetrate on this weak side. I'm going to ask for the pin down, and then boom, that's me.
Man, that's fire. I ain't gonna lie, that's a good game, though. That's a good game, though. That's why I had to ask the question. Because I think a lot of men are wondering that, because they be like, why did this guy Dave come out of jail, but then he get all the bad girls? And
Hey Ronnie, I was gonna say, we get this, make a short of this and put it out.
Oh no,
and David can put it out for you, man. Appreciate you, David.
I will make it famous. Trust me, I'll make it famous, because a lot of guys always get upset at you, Dave. I'm being honest.
That's true.
The image of you, because they're like, damn, like, I be trying my hardest, and you just come out of jail. You already know what to say, how to write, how to talk. It's just, it's crazy.
You just need that. I just need just let me slide in one time. And we used to say in prison, one time for the one time, man. Come on now.
There you go.
And another question: have you ever used some of your games to maneuver against one of the correctional officers, a woman that is?
So, all right, I had opportunities, but to be real with you, man, I wanted to go home way more than I wanted to make $1 in jail. You know what I mean? Like, I would use my game, you know, for my, like, when I had a cell phone. I had a female CO. I used to have her, you know, make it look like she searched my cell on a rent, so I didn't have to worry about a cell search for that month. You know what I mean? So it was like little things like that, you know. Maybe I say a few words and get a little taste of some free food. You know what I mean? Ooh, what's this? Oh, this shrimp. Oh, damn, this is good. Oh, you know. So, you know, you got to use what you have when you have it to get what you need when you need it.
But was some of the women that coming into work, was they like insecure or dealing with issue at home? You would also kind of use that as one of your game tactics, that you like, oh, like, hey, baby, tell me what's going on, because you know you have a lot of free time because you pretty much in the cell the whole time. So I was just trying to figure out your game while you was in the cell. So just for the audience.
Yeah, no, it's just, I mean, it's a lot of insecure women that work inside the correctional facilities. You know, I'll never forget when I heard Lil Boosie that I'm coming home. And he said, I used to have super, what did he say? I had super hood women that was good to me. Then they got bad built women looking good to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of bad built women that work up in prisons, and who don't want to compliment? Ooh, you coming up in here smelling good? You know, they might say, I wish my husband would, like, look, man, everybody can't be smart. You feel me? Some people just destined to be stupid. I smell it. I like it. Like, I remember I told the CEO one time, I like when she had her hair, when she had highlights, no cap. She came the next day with highlights in her hair.
Wow, this spin game like that. That's okay. This spinning game, just give a game to a CEO. They'll just go up there and say, if your hair look nice or you like them in braids, they'll come up with braids, huh?
Look, American Negro said that's good game. I told you I'm gonna make you famous. Trust me, I'm gonna make you famous. I'm gonna make you
Mhm.
famous. But go ahead, Jordan. I think Hakeem stepped away a little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, how was, like I said, being in like in the jail and the prison? You know, people want to know how was the food is. You know, it's the food. You know, like basically your guys cook like.
Trash.
There you go.
In the words of Bubba Dub, trash.
He said trash. But you can't say trash, but you gotta say like you gotta describe the food. Like, oh, was it like ham and cheese sandwich, steak?
Nah, you know what? Like, nah, shit. We wish we had ham and cheese and sandwiches and steak. Nah, every now and again you get you some good meals like holiday feeding usually be pretty good. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Uh, Mostly everybody love the hamburgers. You know when they do the cheeseburgers and stuff like that, they give you the cheese, give you a little BS patty, but they had a little hot water thing in there, so you put your cheese on the burger and let the hot water sit on so it melts. Now you got
Hmm.
you a nice hot cheeseburger. Um, but in prison, it's all about canteen, man. You gotta have you a nice array of store. You know what I'm saying? Like one of my best dishes that I ever made was some gumbo.
What
That was
was in
fire.
it, man? What was in it?
What's in it?
All right, so I had we had a lot of summer sausages. Pause. Uh, had a lot of those.
Hmm.
Cut them up. I boiled them with the gumbo seasoning. Then I put mackerel in there because they got these fillet of mackerel that kind of taste like chicken. So
Hmm.
I had them in there, put them in there whole. I've used Chilorio's shredded chicken,
Hmm.
oysters. It was very, very meaty though, man. It was gas, bro. Like every bite was flavorful. Every bite was hearty.
I don't know if you saw did you see the article recently came out about Tory Lanez? How right now he's in I think one of the toughest prisons. Right now they put him in one of the toughest prison. However, he is isolated, but right now he's dealing with a hard, difficult time mentally. I don't know if you read the article on that. And
No, but I knew it was coming because you got to think, right?
uh,
This is a multi-million-dollar man. This is a dude who is, when he was on the streets, could call and get anything delivered or set up and go wherever he wanted, whenever he wanted to go. He could. This is a dude, you know, that can say, "I want to go to the Bahamas." He go to the Bahamas on Friday, and on Saturday it's some cracking in Jamaica, and he goes there, and then he might go to Vegas for like, and now it's like get in the room, boom, the doors. Ain't no, see, I don't care if you Tory Lane. So it only makes sense. Just and not just the fact that he's a millionaire, but it's the fact that when you haven't gone through the conditions of incarceration, man, incarceration is something that's very, very crushing on the mental. So it makes sense.
and how long is he gonna be like that? If if you could get a time estimate to Tory Lanez, because he only there for how many years? 10 years, correct? 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years, correct.
So he's not gonna do the whole 10 because he more than likely got 10 with 85. So he's gonna probably do like 7 and some change. And he could lower that as well by going to college, going to self-help classes, things like that, and completing vocational classes. He could trim time off with an AA degree. I think they were taking off a whole year. So if he can go get an AA degree, he can get a year plus all the 21 day credits for the units that he's taking. So he can definitely shorten that time.
I got a question for you. How proud it is of your family seeing you do what you're doing, changing your life around.
Man, my family is ecstatic, man. My my great aunt, just told me not too long ago. She said, "David, I want you to know the family is extremely proud of you." And that's all I wanted to do, man. Because my mom died a month into my prison sentence.
Wow.
Died the next year, so I'm just trying to make them proud, make my family proud, and
Yeah,
honor the life of my victim.
that's really
Wow.
that's beautiful. You almost brought tears to my eyes. That's beautiful. I ain't gonna lie. That's deep.
what do you what kind of message do you think that first off, let me ask you this. Have you ever have you ever felt like you was almost about to relapse into a situation?
Oh yeah, man. Yo, and I'm putting this name out there. I don't care. I was working at Caltrans, man. That's California Department of Transportation. And that job, bro, was hell. That job felt like I was back in prison, bro. Like once those people found out that I was just had got out of prison and everything like that, man, I was getting sneak dissed at safety meetings. We work on the freeway, and in the middle of a safety meeting, you got supervisors talking about, oh, this isn't Pelican Bay. And so the few times, like I remember one time, dudes made up a rule. Oh man, he's lazy. I knew who it was. It was a couple of these little brown nosers. And so I had got so pissed off. I was like, yo, whoever in this work van got a problem with me, don't go to the supervisors. Just tell me where you want to meet at after work. You know what I'm saying? Because I still had that aggressive mentality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like I had to tell myself, I said, David, we've worked way too. I can't go back to jail. And hey man, what you at? What? Oh, I got into a fight with a coworker. For what? What happened? He tried to swing on you? No, he was spreading the rumor I was lazy. What? Are you what? Man. I didn't want to go out like no sucker, so I had to humble myself, man.
Mm. No, that's
that's really good. That's rich. That's really good. And I mean that, David, for you, because I know you surround yourself with a lot of men, especially around your city. Do you see a lot of men going through a lot of pain, like suffering from a lot of pain?
Yeah, it's you know what? I got a buddy of mine, and I know he's going through it mentally right now. You know what I mean? And this world, as long as I've known it, have never allowed men the avenue or the outlet to be able to express our emotions, especially as black men. We are one of the most miseducated and misinformed group of people. I'm not even talking about the whole black race. I'm just talking about black men from the inner city. We are a special group amongst disenfranchised and miseducated. From the time we were young boys in our most formative years, we're told stop crying like a little girl, stop acting like a baby, man up, be tough, and that scars us, man, for life. You know what I mean? Until we understand and learn, which takes a long time. Black men are worse than seeing a wild baby deer to get them to come here and see that, hey, it's okay over here. It's all right. So I see a lot of black men that are hurt, that, we call me and they might not say nothing, but like I said, because I went to school and I used to teach, effective and active listening skills. So I can hear and I can affect label someone when we having a conversation. You know what I mean? I can get the meat of the conversation without a person even telling me something. And that's been very beneficial because I've helped a lot of my buddies out. I've been like, hey man, I know things ain't really like how you want them, but just know that like every day, bro, you getting closer to where you need to be. Like you still learning and it's like, man, good luck now, bro. Like I really need to hear that, man. Like, I had a buddy of mine that was in an accident, and at the right moment I would send him something or I would call him and tell him something, like I remember I sent him a picture of me and him at my birthday party. I said, bro, just remember that this is where you going. This how you was looking. This where you on your way back to looking like. Remember you that dude. And he was just like, yo, thank you, bro. I needed that, man.
Man. What do you ever feel like it's been so long, but have you ever worried about just like rivals, like a cost? Because you live in your life, you going about your business. Do you ever think that somebody from the past might recognize you on the street or anything like that?
You know what? When I first got out, I was hella paranoid. But me being a very spiritual man, the Bible says that when a man who's found peace with God, a man who's found favor with God, he should make even his enemies be at peace with him. And so I just believe that the way that I'm living my life and the places that I am in won't allow or give room for the enemy to come and snatch me away.
Have you moved away from the neighborhood?
No, I live in Los Angeles. You know, matter of fact, today I was helping a friend of mine's out. This is my mom's friend's daughter, and I'm helping her with her clothing brand. And we in the store. I see a dude I was locked up with. I'm like, "What up, bro?" He's like, "Damn, what's up, man? You home?" Yeah, man. And it was just like, I've seen like just recently on Instagram, a dude that was my enemy from my a rival, was like, "Yo, congratulations on everything, bro. You always had love for everybody." And like, I would mentor him, and we're rival enemies.
Wow.
You know, I just say that I believe I'm a huge practitioner of the law of attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm always focusing on positive energy and helping. So I believe, like, with that energy put out there and with the protection that I have from God, that me running to a old opposition, that's not even high on my alert radar. Not saying that I don't keep my head on a swivel and know where I'm at and know where I'm going and just know where it's not even worth testing out the waters. It's helped me because for the most part, all I do, man, I go to work, I go home, hit the gym. I'm chilling. I'm not the dude that accepts every invite. Hey, bro, I'm good. I much rather stay home and plot on something and on how to, you know what I'm saying, take advantage of a situation or some content to create. So I don't really be in the mix, and I just know certain things I'd be like, nah, I don't even want to try to see what's up in there.
I got a question for you, man, David. So, see what you're doing right now. What do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years?
I see me being the number one motivational speaker in this country. I see my clothing brand taking off full force because this clothing brand is called Stay Great Above Hate. It's actually an anti-bullying brand. This brand is dedicated to anybody who's ever been bullied, who's ever been counted out, down talked, discriminated against for whatever reason. You know, the goal is to stay great above hate. People gonna hate you whether you do good or do bad. Your only job is to stay great above hate. And so I just see me having a really, really popular lifestyle brand of mine. I see that just being huge, and me just traveling the country, man, motivating, inspiring, and changing the world one person at a time, selling out arenas.
My last question is this for you, and I want you to answer this. And this, I want you to answer this for a reason, because I want people to hear this and for people to reflect on this. So, do you believe in second chances?
Without a shadow of a doubt, I believe in second chances and even third chances, because if we held everybody to the standard of their most recent mistake or their biggest mistake, there would be no room for anybody to be great. You know, one person might have had a bad day and cussed out a cashier. Didn't really truly mean it, you know, or regretful about it, remorseful about that. Oh man, I shouldn't have done that. Do we hold that person to that? You say to yourself, well, that's small. We can forgive that. But what about somebody who's selling drugs? What about somebody who's murdering? What about somebody who's robbing people? Okay. Let them pay for their mistakes. And if a person paid for their mistakes and changed their life, why would we not give them a second chance? Why would we not allow the systems that we believe are effective? You know, like you look at California, for a lifer to get out of prison, man, it's easier to get a dead person to win an all-you-can-eat contest than it is to get a lifer out of California prisons. You feel me?
Wow.
So if these people put in all this work, why would you not want to see them with another opportunity to go at it? Because this is a system that you guys said works. Well, we put a system together. We'll let them vet them out. Well, if they've been vetted properly, why would you not want them back in the community? You know, why would you not want to see this person prosper? Why would you not want to see this person thrive? So I say to anybody who's making the mistakes, don't live in the mistake and distance yourself from that mistake. You are not your past. You don't have to be the things you do. You could let things, that's just, hey, that's something that happened. Learn from it. If you don't learn from your mistakes, man, then you're making them for no reason.
This is my final question. My final question is, if you had the choice to do it all over again, will you do it all over again?
No. And the reason I say no is because as a 35-year-old man, there's so many things that I'm learning for the first time. And I personally, in my own heart, sometimes feel like I'm so far back. You know what I mean? I wish I could have had this knowledge before I ever took somebody's life or made a bad example for my brother to follow that led to his demise. All the stress that I caused my mother's heart, my family, the community that I terrorized. I wouldn't want to put anybody through that again.
Yeah.
Great accountability. Great account. That's it for me, guys. I don't have no. I think this is a beautiful stream, to be honest with you.
Hey, man, I got a question for you, David. Tell us where we can, find you by, social media, IG,
Yes.
YouTube. Go ahead.
Yes.
So on YouTube, I'm at Real Recognize Real Podcast. You see the face. Scroll down a little bit till you catch mine. On IG, it's Real Recognize Real _podcast. My DM is open to anybody with questions, whatever it may be. My DM is open to those that want to follow me and be a part of this journey. If you want to try to find this clothing brand, man, that is up and coming, the hottest thing that's about to hit the market, follow me on IG at Stay Great Above Hate Clothing. That's Stay, STAY, Great, GREAT, above, ABOVE, and then hate, HATE, clothing. Stay Great Above Hate. I'd be the first person to pop up, and you need to be the first person to show up.
I like that. And then, guys, that's why Dave is so. Man, it's an honor to have you on this platform. You understand, you guys. I came a long time ago. I've been trying forever to get somebody that actually been in the prison system and that's able to tell their story. And that's why I think that's what makes you powerful, because you've been through it and you're able to tell that story and you're able to get a lot of men. Pretty much, you don't understand. You're saving a lot of lives right now. Even though we may not have views, but later on, I'm telling you, you're gonna save a lot of lives by your stories, because a lot of people think being a gang banger is what it's all about, and it's not. So,
and before I leave, I want to say, go on Amazon and get the book. It's called Dreams in Incarceration by Killian Doon.
Okay.
Yo, the way this man was able to take my story and put it on paper was amazing. It was nothing short of amazing, put it like that. I feel like it's going to be one of the best books you'll ever read. And just follow the journey, man. Follow me. Support me, man. I'm going to support you. I'm going to give you my all. Just give me a view. One view at a time.
We'll do. And guys, that's why it's so very important to make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification bell on the right-hand side. Remember, we do go live each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern time. Like always, shout out to the lovely Natasha Vincent. Natasha Vincent, man, we really do appreciate you over here. You understand? You be right on the money, giving people the information. That's what we like to see, man. As the Ma Queen, they call you. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, American Negro. Shout out to you for stopping by. Shout out to you, Gore. You already know how it gets down. Shout out to Jabari. Shout out to Kendall. Shout out to Just Hit Me Out. Shout out to all of those that's going to watch us on the playback. Shout out to those that's watching us on Facebook, on IG, and also that Twitch guy that also responded. I forget his name. I don't know. I don't know. You see his name.
Oh yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Is it Joe? Don't hurt him.
Yeah, Joe don't hurt him.
Joe No Herno. Shout out to Eric Thomas. Shout out to Sky.
Check out Sugar Bomb. She was in here a little earlier.
Sugar Bomb. And now that guy is also very important. Make sure you go to KL Culture Radio community tab. In the community tab is the KL Culture Radio t-shirt. Look, we got our own brand too. Fitz Hakeem, new book, Black Love. Yeah, we got our author, Fitz Hakeem, Black Love. And also we got the new exclusive KL Culture Radio hats. Mine's being ordered. And also the coffee mug. Say, look, if you need a coffee drink, go ahead, get your coffee mug. Yeah, that's right. KL Culture Radio style. Yeah. Guys, we on our way to 1K subscribers. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. Y'all, we came a long way. You see, we have dope interviews, dope interaction. Man, you guys don't want to miss what's going on with KL Culture Radio in the future. But like always, thank you for tuning in to KL Culture Radio, guys. We'll see you guys on Friday. We over and out.
Peace.